Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, February 24th, 2020. Today I'm going to recap the Wilder-Fury fight, college basketball, NBA, and NHL. Look ahead to tonight. Discuss the memorial going on for Kobe Bryant later today. The NHL trade deadline, I was going to talk about it real quick and what teams have done so far today. The NASCAR race, golf, and my best bet of the day. We're going to start with the fight. Tyson Fury defeated Deontay Wilder in 7 rounds via knockout. Great win for Fury. He was definitely motivated by all that trash talk I was referring to on Friday when Wilder was talking about Fury's personal life, and it really pissed Fury off, and Fury came out with a lot of motivation, and he flat out dominated. He deserved this win. He made Wilder bleed, and he looked pretty tired by the 7th round, and there's people that thought that it was going to be over in 4 or 5, but it took 7, so give Wilder credit for at least hanging in there for a little while. So, big win for Tyson Fury. I'm interested to see when the next mega trade is, or mega fight is going to be. I have trade in my head because of the deadline, but the next mega fight's going to be. So, congrats to Tyson Fury. College basketball. We're going to go over the weekend slate and look ahead to tonight. Got a lot to do in a short amount of time. So, without further ado, here we go. Friday night, Merrimack over Sacred Heart, 64-57. Quinnipiac over Canisius, 66-64. Fairfield over Niagara, 61-60. Iona over Ryder, 70-69. St. Peter's over Manhattan, 67-64. Monmouth over Marist, 65-61 in overtime. Brown over Columbia, 72-66. Yale over Cornell, 81-80 in double overtime. Dartmouth over Penn, 66-59. Harvard over Princeton, 61-60. Green Bay over Detroit Mercy, 84-67. Buffalo over Kent State, 104-98 in double overtime. Robert Morris over Mount St. Mary's, 68-60. Bryan over St. Francis, Brooklyn, 82-74. Wagner over Central Connecticut State, 68-56. LIU over Fairleigh Dickinson, 86-81. Oakland over Milwaukee, 75-68. St. Louis over VCU, 80-62. Saturday, number 3 Kansas over number 1 Baylor, 64-61. Number 13 Auburn over Tennessee, 73-66. Providence over number 19 Marquette, 84-72. Virginia over Pitt, 59-56. Tulane over UCF, 75-74. Furman over Wofford, 67-66. UNC Greensboro over VMI, 71-68. Middle Tennessee over Southern Miss, 61-53. Arkansas over Missouri, 78-68. Hampton over Winthrop, 87-81. Ball State over Eastern Michigan, 64-55. Cal Baptist over Chicago State, 95-53. Army over Navy, 86-75 in overtime. Number 5 Dayton over Decatur, 80-70. TC over number 17 West Virginia, 67-60 in overtime. Memphis over number 22 Houston, 60-59. Northeastern over Drexel, 77-68. Towson over Elan, 84-71. Toledo over Western Michigan, 68-59. Michigan over Purdue, 71-63. Texas over Kansas State, 70-59. Northern Kentucky over Youngstown State, 61-59. South Alabama over Coastal Carolina, 74-71. Number 12 Villanova over Xavier, 64-55. Tulsa over SMU, 79-57. Wright State over Cleveland State, 81-74 in overtime. Georgia Southern over Texas Arlington, 81-61. Omaha over Western Illinois, 93-86. Morehead State over Tennessee State, 66-63. Murray State over SIU Edwardsville, 59-58. East Tennessee State over Samford, 80-74. UL Monroe over Louisiana, 83-77. Missouri State over Loyola Chicago, 72-64. Or 74-62. A&M over Mississippi State, 87-75. Number 8 Florida State over NC State, 67-61. Number 11 Louisville over North Carolina, 72-55. UCLA over Colorado, 70-63. Syracuse over Georgia Tech, 79-72. Florida Gulf Coast over NJIT, 55-39. UMass over Fordham, 57-49. LaSalle over George Washington, 72-62. Oklahoma State over Oklahoma, 83-66. Akron over Miami of Ohio, 75-65. William & Mary over James Madison, 78-74. Hope Shore over Delaware, 78-62. Hartford over Binghamton, 75-74. Colorado State over San Jose State, 78-71. Wyoming over Air Force, 78-72. Central Arkansas over Nichols, 84-65. App State over Troy, 68-59. Utah Valley over Grand Canyon, 92-80. Bethune-Cookman over SC State, 69-65 in overtime. Coppin State over Delaware State, 98-86. Florida A&M over Norfolk State, 66-63. NCAT over Howard, 71-67. NC Central over Maryland Eastern, 74-55. Louisiana Tech over North Texas, 73-71. UIC over IUPUI, 77-72. Eastern Illinois over Austin Peay, 83-80 in overtime. Illinois State over Drake, 57-53. New Orleans over McNeese, 82-77. Mercer over Chattanooga, 85-80. UNC Asheville over Presbyterian, 75-64. Radford over SC Upstate, 81-60. Bowling Green over Ohio, 62-61. Northern Illinois over Central Michigan, 82-81 in overtime. George Mason over St. Joe's, 62-55. North Florida over Lipscomb, 82-74. Sacramento State over Idaho, 67-56. Abilene Christian over Southeast Louisiana, 75-69. Gardner-Webb over Campbell, 73-61. Liberty over Stetson, 77-49. Tennessee Tech over Southeast Missouri State, 71-62. Jacksonville State over Tennessee Martin, 72-58. Little Rock over Arkansas State, 81-78. Texas State over Georgia State, 86-76. Eastern Washington over Northern Arizona, 80-70. Stephen F. Austin over Incarnate 80-56. Texas Southern over Mississippi Valley State, 94-92. Davidson over Rhode Island, 77-75 in overtime. Lamar over A&M Corpus Christi, 79-62. Number 10, Kentucky over Florida, 65-59. Cornell over Brown, 63-45. Washington over Cal, 87-52. Texas Tech over Iowa State, 87-57. Jacksonville over Kennesaw State, 65-55. Clemson over BC, 82-64. Georgia over Vandy, 80-78. LSU over South Carolina, 86-80. Southern over Alabama State, 56-44. San Francisco over Pepperdine, 63-61 in overtime. Grambling over Jackson State, 63-61. St. Bonaventure over Richmond, 75-71. Sam Houston State over Houston Baptist, 77-73. Yale over Columbia, 83-65. Princeton over Dartmouth, 65-62. Harvard over Penn, 69-65. Stony Brook over Maine, 54-46. New Hampshire over Albany, 68-56. UMBC over Vermont, 66-54. UNC Wilmington over Charleston, 68-55. Long Beach State over Hawaii, 64-60. Longwood over High Point, 57-54. UTEP over Rice, 68-62. Bama A&M over Alcorn State, 71-61. Charlotte over Western Kentucky, 72-70. FA over UAB, 65-58. Marshall over Old Dominion, 74-66. Belmont over Eastern Kentucky, 83-70. UNLV upsets number 4 San Diego State, 66-63. Western Carolina over the Citadel, 96-84. Number 6 Duke over Virginia Tech, 88-64. St. Mary's over San Diego, 92-63. North Dakota over North Dakota State, 71-68. Valpo over Bradley, 90-78. Oregon State over Oregon State, 74-73. Alabama over Ole Miss, 103-78. Prairie View over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 69-61. Number 14 Oregon over number 24 Arizona, 73-72 in overtime. New Mexico State over Texas Rio Grande, 78-62. Northern Colorado over Idaho State, 85-72. Montana over Montana State, 59-54. Weber State over Southern Utah, 82-71. DePaul over Georgetown, 74-68. Number 23 BYU over number 2 Gonzaga, 91-78. UC Riverside over Cal Poly, 61-49. Santa Barbara over UC Davis, 70-56. UC Irvine over Cal State Northridge, 87-64. Seattle over Cal State Bakersfield, 69-54. Nevada over Fresno State, 78-76. William Marymount over Portland, 66-58. And Pacific over Santa Clara, 87-74. Sunday. Indiana over number 9 Penn State, 68-60. East Carolina over Temple, 67-63. BU over American, 64-60. Lehigh over Bucknell, 69-60. Sacramento over Bryant, 83-76. Detroit Mercy over Milwaukee, 79-73. Cincinnati over Wichita State, 67-64. Wisconsin over Rutgers, 79-71. Number 16 Seton Hall over St. John's, 81-65. UConn over South Florida, 78-71. Canisius over Manhattan, 57-56. Siena over Fairfield, 62-59. Marist over Niagara, 76-54. Monmouth over Quinnipiac, 89-78. St. Peter's over Ryder, 73-54. Loyola Maryland over Lafayette, 70-68. Colgate over Holy Cross, 90-60. Indiana State over Evansville, 64-62. Northern Iowa over Southern Illinois, 64-52. Merrimack over St. Mary's. Other way around, 65-57. South Dakota State over South Dakota, 85-80. Oakland over Green Bay, 92-88 in double overtime. Minnesota over Northwestern, 88-53 or 83-57. Fairleigh Dickinson over Robert Morris, 75-70. Number 25 Ohio State over number 7 Maryland, 79-72. Number 15 Creighton over number 21 Butler, 81-59. St. Francis, Pennsylvania over Long Island, 74-71. Boise State over New Mexico, 74-61. Wagner over St. Francis, Brooklyn, 75-71 in overtime. Utah over USC, 79-65. Notre Dame over Miami, 87-71. And Stanford over Washington State, 75-57. All right, tonight's slate. 7 o'clock ESPN, number 11 Louisville, number 8 Florida State. Florida State's a 2.5 point favorite. I have Florida State by 2. Hate to do this, but give me Louisville getting the 2.5. I think Florida State This is their time to win a big game. But my numbers say Louisville, so compared to the numbers. So give me Louisville plus the 2.5. Maybe Florida State wins by 1. Number 17, West Virginia at Texas. ESPN U. West Virginia is giving 5.5. This is completely wrong. I love Texas plus the 5.5. West Virginia is very overvalued. I think there's a chance, not a big chance, but a conceivable chance that they're unranked come when the rankings come out. So give me Texas plus 5.5. I give them a chance to win outright. Hampton at Gardner-Webb. Norfolk State at Bethune-Cookman at 7:30. Delaware State at Morgan State. Howard at NC Central. Maryland Eastern at NC A&T. 8 o'clock SC State at Florida A&M. 8 o'clock Big Ten Network, Nebraska at Illinois. Illinois is given 13.5. I'm laying it with Illinois. I have it 15.5. 8:30 Southern at Bama A&M. Alcorn State at Alabama State. Prairie View at Mississippi Valley State. Texas Southern at Arkansas Pine Bluff at 9 o'clock on ESPN. Oklahoma State number 3 Kansas. Kansas is giving 14.5. I'm going to lay it with Kansas, but I don't feel so strongly about it. Now I'm going to do NBA, go over the slate from the weekend, and look ahead to tonight's slate of games. Friday night, Pacers over the Knicks, 106-98. Cavs over the Wizards, 113-108. Mavs over the Magic, 122-106. Raptors over the Suns, 118-101. Thunder over the Nuggets, 113-101. Celtics over the Timberwolves, 127-117. Spurs over the Jazz, 113-104. Pelicans over the Blazers, 128-115. And Lakers over the Grizzlies, 117-112. Saturday, Kings over the Clippers, 112-103. Nets over the Hornets, 115-86. Mavs over the Hawks, or other way around, Hawks over the Mavs, 111-107. Mavs didn't have their 2 stars in that game. Heat over the Cavs, 125-104. Heat retired Dwayne Wade's jersey. Suns over the Bulls, 112-104. Bucks over the Sixers, 119-98. And Rockets over the Jazz, 120-110. Sunday, Lakers over the Celtics, 114-112. Nuggets over the Timberwolves, 128-112. Raptors over the Pacers, 127-81. Bulls over the Wizards, 126-117. Thunder over the Spurs, 131-103. Pelicans over the Warriors, 115-101. And Blazers over the Pistons, 107-104. Tonight, 7 o'clock NBA TV, the Hawks at the 76ers. Bucks at the Wizards, Heat at the Cavs. 7:30 Magic at the Nets, 8 o'clock Knicks at the Rockets, 8:30 Timberwolves at the Mavs. 9 o'clock Suns at the Jazz, and 10:30 NBA TV, the Clippers at the Grizzlies. NHL now, we'll go over the weekend slate and then talk about today's games and then the trade deadline. So, without further ado, here we go. Friday night, Rangers over the Hurricanes 5-2. Isles over the Red Wings 4-1. Blackhawks over the Preds 2-1 in overtime. Blues over the Stars 5-1. Bruins over the Flames 4-3. Wild over the Oilers 5-3. And Avs over the Ducks 1-0. Saturday, Devils over the Capitals 3-2. Ovechkin scored 700 during that game. Flyers over the Jets 4-2. Sabres over the Penguins 5-2. Hurricanes over the Maple Leafs 6-3. Canadians over the Senators 3-0. Rangers over the Trucks 3-2. Predators over the Blue Jackets 4-3 in a shootout. Coyotes over the Lightning 7-3. Canucks over the Bruins 9-3. Golden Knights over the Panthers 5-3. And Avs over the Kings 2-1 in a shootout. Sunday, Penguins over the Capitals 5-3. Sabres over the Jets 2-1. Stars over the Blackhawks 2-1. Islanders over the Sharks 4-1. Flames over the Red Wings 4-2. Blues over the Wild 4-1. Golden Knights over the Ducks 6-5 in overtime. And Oilers over the Kings 4-2. One game tonight, Senators at the Blue Jackets, but the big story is the trade deadline approaching. A lot of big names have moved today. We had J.P. Paggio get traded from the Senators to the Red Wings for a 2020 first round pick, a 2020 second round pick, and a 2020 third round pick. And the 2020 first round pick is top 3 protected. I think it's a great trade for Ottawa, getting all those assets for somebody in a career year. Paggio's a good player. He'll help the Islanders. I think Lou gave up a lot to get him. The Avalanche traded a 4th round pick for Vladimir Nemestikov. I think he's just a depth piece. Vincent Trocheck was traded from the Panthers to the Hurricanes for a lot of pieces going back the other way. Chase Prisky, E2 Listerman, Walmart and Holla. I think that is a great move for both teams. I think that Trocheck will be rejuvenated in a new location. And I think that the Panthers got a nice haul for him. The Flyers are showing some interest in Nate Thompson. He's a depth piece. The Lightning signed Zach Bogassian to a 1-year deal. I think he'll help them on defense. Washington traded a 2020 third-round pick for Ilya Kovalchuk. I think he'll help them. Red Wings traded Mike Green to the Oilers for Kyle Brodziak and a conditional 2024 4th-round pick. Good deal for Edmonton. He'll help them. I think they gave up less of a price than what the Islanders did for Andy Green. But he'll certainly help the Oilers, and I think that 4th rounder is kind of proper for Mike Green, but I think that fan base will be complaining because Andy Green got a lot more. The big story today, Chris Kreider. John Davidson's having a press conference at 11 o'clock. We'll see what that's about. There's some speculation it's the re-signing of Kreider. People think it has to do with Henrik Lundqvist. I think it's very fascinating. Maybe it's just a trade deadline. I personally think it has something to do with Chris Kreider. Wouldn't rule out a Henrik Lundqvist situation either. So that is very, very fascinating. And I'm going to have a podcast later tonight to recap all the moves made at the deadline. Today at 1 o'clock, we're going to have a memorial service that's being aired on NBA TV and ESPN for the late Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant. ESPN is doing their coverage from 1 to 3, NBA TV from 1 to 5. It's at the Staples Center. A lot of NBA players are supposed to be in attendance. Broadcasters. It's going to be very emotional. There's going to be a lot of famous people at this in terms of celebrities, whether it's actors, actresses, or people in pop culture as well. It's going to be emotional. Obviously, the Bryant family is going to be there. Vanessa and the 3 girls. Oh, breaking hockey news. Nate Thompson traded to the Flyers, so we got that breaking trade news as well on the podcast. But it should be an emotional day at the Staples Center. I'll talk more about this on tomorrow's show and who spoke and who performed and what not. All right, now we're going to talk about the NASCAR race from yesterday. Joey Logano won. He made some good moves within the final laps of the race to come out on top in the second NASCAR race of the season. So, good for him. Obviously, he's somebody that is a good driver. And he's somebody that's won a race the last 9 seasons. So, that's a really good accomplishment for Joey Logano. Matt DiBenedetto came in second. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. third. Austin Dillon fourth. Jimmy Johnson fifth. Bubba Wallace came in sixth. Brad Keselowski seventh. Kevin Harvick eighth. Kyle Larson ninth. Ty Dillon 10th. Ryan Blaney 11th. He raced pretty good. Clint Boyer 12th. He was up and down and finished strong. Alex Bowman 13th. Chris Bouchard 14th. Kyle Busch 15th. And along more notables, Denny Hamlin 17th. Martin Truex Jr. 20th. Eric Almirola 21st. Kurt Busch 25th. Reed Sorensen 34th. So a pretty good race, and next week should be more fun as well. And I believe next week is California, if I'm not mistaken. Now I'm going to talk some golf. There's a big golf event over the weekend that I'd like to discuss. So, Victor Hovland won the Grand Reserve Country Club Puerto Rico Open with the minus 20, earning $540,000. Second place was Josh Teeter with a minus 19, earning of $327,000. And the third place was a tie, Sam Ryder, Kyle Stanley, and Emiliano Grillo, each with the minus 15, earning of $159,000. And then in the Club de Golf Chapultepec in Mexico City, Patrick Reed won with the minus 18, earning $1.8 million. Bryson DeChambeau came in second with the minus 17, earning $1.1 million. Third place was a tie, Eric Van Rooyen and John Ram with the minus 15, earning $600,000 each. And fifth place, Rory McIlroy with the minus 14, earning $430,000. Now I'm going to do my best bet of the day, brought to you by DraftKings. In college basketball, we're going to take Texas getting the points. I don't know if they'll actually win this game outright, but West Virginia has been playing terrible lately, playing down the opponents. I know they played Baylor and Kansas in the middle there, but this just looks like a team that's heading in the wrong direction. So give me Texas plus 5.5 at home against the Mountaineers in a game that I think they have to have. NBA, I am going to go here with, let's see for a second, 13. I'm just doing some quick math in my head. No, I'm not going to go there. This was very tough. I want to take the Mavericks again. I was going to take the Heat, but there's no Jimmy Butler in this one due to personal reasons. This is so hard, guys. I can't figure out who to pull the trigger on for NBA best bet. A lot of these numbers are even. I'm going to go, I think it's going to be because of the hangover of the Kobe Bryant thing. I'm going to take the Grizzlies getting 9.5 at the Clippers. I have this line, Grizzlies by 8.5, or I'm sorry, Clippers 8.5. Or, I'm sorry, Clippers 8, and it's 9.5. This is just a gut pick based on the circumstances. So give me the Grizzlies plus the 9.5. I give them a chance to win this game outright in Los Angeles against the Clippers. So that's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, and then later tonight recapping the NHL trade deadline. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.